Governor Larry Hogan announced new milestones for the state's fight against COVID-19. The state has recorded more than 120,000 positive tests, but hospitalizations are now below 300 with less than 80 coronavirus patients in an ICU. Annie Rose Ramos has more on the roadmap to recovery.
Rachel, for the fifth day in a row, the 7-day positivity rate has dropped, now below 3% for the first time since March. A series of firsts for the state of Maryland. For the first time, the daily positivity rate below 2%, the 7-day positivity rate below 3%, and hospitalizations below 300 and ICU beds below 70, both for the first time since March.
We're encouraged by these numbers.
The governor on Friday speaking about the state's COVID metrics.
We've been very successful, and we've continued to see good declining numbers.
Health officials reported just over 400 new cases Sunday and 3 new deaths.
This crisis is far from behind us, and we've got to remain vigilant.
And while COVID numbers continue to decline, businesses are struggling to hold on.
Restaurants need your help.
On Friday, the state began its first ever statewide restaurant week, hoping to give a much needed boost to the industry.
Try to go out and support those restaurants, whether it's delivery or carry out or sitting outside. They really need our help right now.
While others like RevCycle Studio in Locust Point says they'll close after 6 years, one of the many businesses closing due to COVID.
Some of the smallest of our businesses and our minority-owned businesses have greatly been impacted.
But the governor assuring Maryland is at the forefront of a vaccine.
We have 40 different companies and universities in the state of Maryland that are working and making real progress on the potential for a vaccine.
Hoping it's the key to getting back to normal.
Hopefully we get to the point where we have a vaccine and we can keep everybody safe and get back to some sense of normalcy.
And starting Monday at 5 p.m., restaurants can open up to 75% capacity indoors. But here in Baltimore City, they're staying at 50%. I'm Annie Rose Ramos, reporting for WJZ.
Annie Rose, thank you. Starting tomorrow, there will be 7 new locations for children to get food in Baltimore County. BCPS is providing free school meals to all children aged 2 to 18 on Mondays and Wednesdays. That goes through the month of December. That's to help families during the pandemic. Meals can be picked up curbside. No sign-up or registration is required. We have a list of all those locations at WJZ.com. Looking ahead to next month, jury trials will resume in Maryland on Monday, October 5th. At that point, all courts in Maryland will be fully operational. Anyone entering a courthouse is required to wear a face covering, have their temperature checked, and they'll be asked questions regarding any COVID-19 symptoms. Nearly 7 million Americans have tested positive for the coronavirus since the first case was reported back in January, and nearly 200,000 Americans have died from the virus. New York City was once the epicenter of the global pandemic. The infection rate there is now down to 1%. But a report from the mayor's office calls COVID-19 the largest mass fatality incident in modern New York City history.